Everyone walked past, but Keanu did something no one expected. Late evening? The streets of Los Angeles glow with neon lights. People rush about their business, cars honk, cafes overflow with conversation. Amid this chaos, almost no one notices the lone musician standing near the subway exit. His fingers glide over the strings, but something is off. He doesn't hear his music. He just plays, feeling the vibrations of the guitar through his fingertips. People pass by. Some toss coins, others don't even glance in his direction. No one realizes that he quite literally cannot hear the very thing he creates. But then, Keanu Reeves walks down the street. The wind tugs at the edges of his jacket. His steps are steady, his gaze thoughtful. He notices the musician. He reads the small sign beside him. I can't hear my music, but I can feel it. Keanu stops. His eyes linger on the musician's hands, watching how he plays. Not with his ears, but with his heart. The crowd continues to move, indifferent, unaware. But Keanu takes a step closer, and then something unexpected happens. Keanu stands nearby, watching. The musician keeps playing, unaware that someone the whole world recognizes is looking at him. The crowd remains indifferent. People walk past, some toss a coin, some don't even stop. The world around the deaf musician keeps moving, but it's as if he himself is invisible. But then something changes. A group of young men steps out of a cafe nearby. Laughter, loud voices. They walk past the musician, and one of them, a tall blonde in a leather jacket, stops. He raises an eyebrow as he notices the sign. I can't hear my music, but I can feel it. The guy smirks, exchanging glances with his friends. Feel it? He leans in mockingly. How do you even know what you're playing? Maybe it's just noise. His friends laugh. One of them taps a finger against the body of the guitar, making a dull thud. Hey, if he can't hear, does it even matter? The musician doesn't react. He lowers his head and keeps playing, but his fingers begin to tremble. Keanu clenches his jaw. He takes a step forward but doesn't interfere. Yet, he watches, evaluates. The crowd keeps moving. No one pays attention. People see, but no one wants to step in. The guy in the leather jacket nods at his friend, pulls a bill from his pocket, crumples it and drops it into the guitar case. Here, buy yourself some new ears. Laughter, loud, sharp. The musician stops. His hands freeze on the strings. Keanu takes a step. His face remains calm, but his eyes turn to steel. And now, something has truly changed. Keanu steps closer. The crowd still moves past. Nobody wants to linger for more than a few seconds. The conflict is not their problem. The guy in the leather jacket is about to turn away when he notices Keanu and smirks. Oh, looks like we've got a hero here. The other guys see him too. One of them blinks several times, as if not believing his eyes. Hey, isn't that Keanu Reeves? But the guy in the leather jacket doesn't falter. He pulls up his hood and crosses his arms. So what? So what if he's Keanu Reeves? Are we supposed to bow down now? Keanu looks directly at him. Why did you do that? What? You knew he wouldn't be able to respond. The guy scoffs. Oh, come on, it was just a joke. You don't react when people talk crap about you online, do you? Keanu slowly shakes his head. You're not joking. You're testing how far you can go. The guy clenches his jaw. Dude, relax, this isn't your business. Keanu lowers his gaze to the open guitar case, where the crumpled bill still sits. Take it back. What? Take your joke back? Now, the crowd actually starts paying attention. People slow down. Someone pulls out a phone. The guy in the leather jacket feels it. He's in the spotlight, but not in the way he wanted. "Not so funny, huh?" Keanu adds. When someone actually sees you, the guy clenches his fists. Silence. The musician, who had stayed silent all this time, looks up. He can't hear the conversation, but he sees. He sees Keanu standing beside him. He sees that for the first time, someone didn't just walk past. The guy in the leather jacket glances around, as if looking for support from his friends. But they're not laughing anymore. Someone in the crowd starts clapping, a slow, dull clap, then another, and the air shifts. The guy in the leather jacket takes a step back. Whatever. He turns sharply and walks away. His friends hesitate but follow. Keanu stays. He looks at the musician. The musician looks back, and something happens, silently, without words, but louder than any sound. The musician looks at Keanu. The crowd still stands around, some still recording, others whispering. But now they are truly watching. Keanu leans down, picks up the crumpled bill from the guitar case, and smooths it out with his fingers. Then, slowly, he places it back. The musician freezes. Keanu reaches into his pocket, pulls out his wallet, takes out all the cash he has, and places it in the case. The soft rustle of bills, the clink of coins against wood. People in the crowd exchange glances. Someone understands what's happening. "That's not how it works," someone mutters, as if trying to resist the moment. But that's exactly why it does. It makes people move. First, one person steps forward and drops a bill. Then another, then a third, then more. The musician doesn't move. He doesn't understand what's happening. His shoulders tremble slightly. He doesn't hear the money falling. He doesn't hear the murmurs of approval from the crowd. But he sees the world changing in front of him. He looks at Keanu, then at the case, then back at Keanu. Keanu takes a step back and raises his hands, fingers slightly spread like a conductor, and something clicks. The musician understands. He picks up his guitar and he plays. Not for the people, but with them. His fingers tremble, but he plays. And for the first time, the crowd truly hears him, and for the first time, he feels heard. The guitar strings tremble beneath the musician's fingers, but he keeps playing. For the first time in years, he isn't playing into the void. The crowd around him isn't just listening, they are feeling. The music fills the air, weaving through the street noise, through voices, through hearts. Keanu remains standing beside him. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. Someone in the crowd pulls out a guitar and begins to strum along. Another person softly hums the melody, then another. A child starts clapping to the rhythm, and just like that, in less than a minute, what started as a moment of silence transforms into a living, breathing rhythm. Laughter, songs, applause. At some point, the musician lifts his head. He looks at Keanu, then at the people surrounding him. And he smiles. That same guy in the leather jacket, the one who had thrown the money, now stands among the crowd. He isn't smirking anymore. He watches the scene unfold as if seeing music for the first time. Then, suddenly, he pulls out his wallet and places money in the guitar case. The musician notices, and something in his face changes. Not gratitude, not surprise, acceptance. Keanu leans down and gently places a hand on the musician's shoulder. The musician looks at him. Keanu says nothing, but the musician understands. He nods, and he keeps playing. The sound of the street is different now. It's no longer just noise, it's music. The crowd slowly begins to disperse, but the atmosphere on this street will never be the same. People who once walked past now turn back for another glance. Those who never listened before have at least stopped for a moment. Some smile, others leave in silence. But each one carries something more than just a sound. The musician keeps playing, but his fingers no longer tremble. Keanu takes a step back, looks at him once more, and gives a subtle nod. The musician nods back. No words, no grand speeches, just two people who understood each other. Keanu turns and walks away, disappearing into the sea of people. But just before he vanishes around the corner, he hears something new. The musician is singing. He never used to sing, but now he sings. His voice is a bit rough, slightly hoarse, but it rings out. It reaches into hearts just like his music does. This is no longer just a street melody. This is a story about a man who spent his life playing for others, but for the first time finally heard himself.